When David Moyes talked about training without the ball in preparation for this encounter with Manchester City, it actually made a bit of sense. But come the actual match and the spherical object largely in the possession of the newly crowned English champions proved something of a nuisance to a side now battling desperately to stay clear of relegation danger. Here at the London Stadium, it developed a nasty habit for bouncing off West Ham body parts and into their goal, with a deflection off the head of Patrice Evra enabling Leroy Sane to claim the opening strike after only 13 minutes before. Pablo Zabaleta succeeded in scoring what was City's 100th goal of their Premier League campaign just 14 minutes after that. Trouble was, of course, he now plays for West Ham, and that was the 13th City goal of his career. For a team that had already greeted their visitors with a guard of honor, this was way too hospitable, defending at its most chaotic and hapless. No matter that Moyes had tried to provide a bit more security by slotting Evra into the back three with Aaron Cresswell and Zabaleta deployed on the flanks. City's second was a comical affair, anxiety spreading through West Ham's ranks after Adrian had come off his line to make an interception, with a sense of panic increasing when Angelo Ogbonna then had to save Raheem Sterling's shot with his head in the absence of his goalkeeper. The clearance, however, went only as far as Ilkay Gundogan, who then invited Kevin De Bruyne to drive in a cross that Adrian diverted into the path of Declan Rice. Cue a moment of penalty box pinball, with the ball bouncing first off Rice's shins before clipping Zabaleta and rolling agonizingly into the back of the net. There was no need for any words of criticism from Moyes this week. Judging by the cursing as he marched up the field for the restart, Rice seemed pretty angry with himself. While the goals edged Pep Guardiola's side closer to those Premier League records for points and goals, it left West Ham in a most precarious position when Southampton sit just 3 points behind them in 18th place with a better goal difference. It needed a response, and in the first half minutes that remained West Ham did find a bit of resolve, some much welcome urgency that, for a while at least, created a bit of atmosphere in an arena that had more of a buzz during the morning sessions of the Athletics last summer. The first time West Ham found the City net the goal was actually disallowed, the officials quite rightly concluding that Marko Arnautovic had fouled Ederson even if the visiting goalkeeper was rather too casual in attempting to clear. But after Gundogan caught Edmilson Fernandes with a clumsy challenge in the 41st minute, Cresswell was invited to step up and test Ederson with a free kick. It actually should have been a penalty, given where the foul was committed, but it made no odds to Cresswell, the Englishman reducing the deficit with a quite beautiful effort. In the world's largest technical area, Moyes suddenly seemed energized, an animated figure urging his troops to maintain the pressure and perhaps sensing that a side with the title already in the bag might be taking their collective foot off the gas. Those records, however, seemed to be motivation enough, with City restoring their 2-goal advantage only 8 minutes into the second half with what was an exquisite 1-2 between Gabriel Jesus and Sterling. In scoring his 16th goal of the season, Jesus simply excelled, first with the ball that sent Sterling racing down the right flank and then the touch, skill and finish to control his colleague's delivery before guiding his finish beyond the advancing Adrian. West Ham were now in serious trouble, and a drastic situation demanded drastic action, with Moyes opting to make a triple substitution that would see Manuel Lanzini, Evra and Fernandes simultaneously hooked. But before a suitable break-in play arrived, Lanzini lost possession cheaply in midfield to Fernandinho, who then, like Jesus, employed Sterling as both his outlet and provider and almost unopposed converted another neat delivery from the England winger. With only 63 minutes gone, this was fast turning into yet another damaging, demoralising defeat for a West Ham side thumped 4-1 by Arsenal in their previous game. Sunday's official match programme said 1-1, but, sorry folks, that ain't going to work. Boos and jeers greeted the sight of those 3 substitutions, and understandably so, and by the time the 4th official had signalled for 3 extra minutes the place was half empty. As West Ham supporters made their way back across the Olympic Park, they must have realised it means their team now have a goal difference of -24, with a trip to Leicester City and home encounters with Manchester United and Everton to follow. The latter two, you imagine, are unlikely to be games Moyes will relish. Southampton have 3 less points but a goal difference of -19 and trips to Everton and Swansea, as well as a meeting with this irrepressible City side. Not easy either, but, having beaten Bournemouth on Saturday, they at least have a bit of momentum. City, meanwhile, have no such concerns. They just wanted to finish in the style they have displayed all season, and now sit just a goal short of matching the efforts of Carlo Ancelotti's Chelsea in 2010. The record is as good as gone.